Welcome in, comrades. My name is Jack Sperry, and this is the Commanders Report. Day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft is officially over, and the Washington Commanders made some pretty interesting picks, starting off their night in round 1 with pick number 47 overall, where they took Quan Martin, safety out of the University of Illinois. Now, I'm really a big fan of Quan Martin. He was one of my favorite safety/nickel cornerback prospects in this year's NFL Draft. He's 5'11", 194 pounds, played really all over the Illini defense over the last couple of years. When it comes to safety prospects, we have him ranked number 3 overall as a company. I have him as my number 2 personal safety on my big board, and I'm really a big fan of this pick. You look at what Quan Martin was able to do at the University of Illinois last season: 64 tackles, 3 interceptions, 14 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, Quan Martin is kind of more of a Swiss Army knife type of player, similar to like a Brian Branch here, that can play nickel cornerback or free safety. I don't think he has the size to play a strong safety position, but the Commanders already have that in Cameron Curl. I think that you get a guy like Quan Martin because he's going to be a really good special teams player for you right away, and then I think he's got the versatility there to play nickel cornerback and free safety, and he's going to really compete to get on the field really, really early on. You take a look at what they've got at the cornerback position right now. You added Emmanuel Forbes to be your number 1 outside cornerback in round 1. Now you get a guy in Quan Martin that can compete for that nickel cornerback role there in those nickel and dime sets, or he could potentially compete for that free safety role over Derek Forrest at free safety in Ron Rivera's defense. I think that either role, he's going to find a home somewhere. I think that he's going to be a really, really interesting player for Ron Rivera to use in kind of some disguised coverages, because you can have him as a deep safety and then you can bring him down and kind of have him do some really creative stuff coming down into the box and really confusing opposing quarterbacks and really switching things up defensively if you are the Washington Commanders. Quan Martin is an excellent pick in my opinion. You combine him with the talents of Emmanuel Forbes, you really start to build out the talent here in the Commanders secondary. So do me a favor right now, grade this pick of Quan Martin to the Washington Commanders in round 2. Give me a grade here, A, B, C, D, or F. Get it in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, just go ahead, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. My grade for this pick is an A-. I think that Quan Martin is a very, very good player. He's the number 2 safety just behind Brian Branch on my big board this year. You add him to this Washington Commanders defense that definitely needs help in the secondary. That's been their biggest problem over the last couple of years defensively. You have a good pass rush, very talented pass rush. Now you got to solidify the back end. You get Emmanuel Forbes, and then you get Quan Martin here. I think it's a very good pickup here for the Commanders on day 2. All right, now go ahead, do me a favor right now and click that subscribe button if you want more Commanders draft videos throughout draft week. We're going to be having day 3 coverage tomorrow as well. And then also on Sunday, we're going to be doing an undrafted free agency tracker video for your Washington Commanders, so you know everybody that is on the Commanders roster heading into this summer. You're not going to want to miss it. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you know when we put out new videos. Then in round 3 here at pick number 97, the Commanders pick up center/guard inside our interior offensive lineman, Ricky Stromberg, out of the University of Arkansas. Now, he's a little bit undersized, okay? So 6'3" and a quarter, and then he's 306 pounds. So that's a little bit undersized, and you can really see that on his film. The play strength is just okay. I think he really plays with some really, really nice intent and mentality. I think that he has the right mentality that you look for, but he's just not a very traitsy type of player. We have him ranked as the number 4 overall center on Tom Downey's big board right now. And personally, I just think he's going to be a okay center in the National Football League personally. I think that Ricky Stromberg is more of like a low-end starter, really, really good backup, can handle his business at center, at either guard position. He played everywhere along the interior of the offensive line there with the Razorbacks. I think he's somebody that you can trust on the offensive line wherever you put him. I think he provides some nice versatility, some nice depth, but he's not necessarily going to be a Pro Bowl level talent, at least in my opinion. You take a look at what the Commanders have along their offensive offensive line right now. And, the interior is okay. You got Chase Roulier here. You got Sam Cosmi. You bring in Nick Gates to kind of be a Swiss Army knife here, kind of be that swing player. He, with the Jets or with the Giants last year, he played everywhere. He played center. He played left guard. He played right tackle. Nick Gates is going to be a very, very valuable, versatile piece. And then you add Ricky Stromberg to that mix. I think that although Ricky's probably not going to start next year, he's another versatile piece along the offensive line. And if you are the Commanders and you got Sam Howell, you're trying to protect him for the future. It doesn't seem like the Commanders are going to be taking a quarterback here. They might take one tomorrow. I guess we'll have to see on that. But it seems like Sam Howell could be and probably will be the starting quarterback for the Commanders heading into 2023. You got to protect him. You got to safeguard against injuries. So Ricky Stromberg at the end of the day is a pretty decent pick. All right, now grade this pick for me in the comment section. Get in there right now. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F for Ricky Stromberg here, interior offensive lineman out of the University of Arkansas. Then for me, I'm going to give this one a C. I think that there were some better players available on the board here for the Washington Commanders. Stromberg, for me, is more of a day 3 guy. I think he's going to be somebody that's pretty solid in the National Football League. I think he's going to be a low-end starter type or a high-end backup that can give you some versatility, like I said. But, he's not going to be a real impact player. And I think there was some impact kind of talents still on the board here when the Commanders were picking. I'm happy that they're addressing offensive line here. They're adding depth to this offensive line that desperately needs it, but it's definitely not a high-end talent for me here. I think he's a good locker room guy. I think he's got some great mentality. I think that he's, he plays with relatively good technique, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be a huge impact pick for the Commanders, so I will give this one a C. So if we combine the picks here for the Washington Commanders, on day 2, I'm going to give them a B. You get Emmanuel Forbes on day 1 here, and then in day 2, you get another really nice piece in the secondary there with Quan Martin, and then you get a pretty good piece here with Ricky Stromberg, the center out of Arkansas, somebody that's going to be a good piece for you along the offensive line. But overall, it's not going to wow you. A safety and an interior offensive lineman. It's not like it's going to be like, oh my gosh, the Commanders won day 2 of the draft. It's not like that. But they did get some nice players here that are going to be nice contributors for the Commanders moving forward. So at the end of the day, it's a good day. I'm going to give them a B. And if you look forward to day 3 here, you take a look at what the Washington Commanders have addressed so far. You've taken care of cornerback. You've taken care of safety, right? They might still go and get a tight end here on day 3, so keep your eye out for that. Some of the best prospects went off the board, but Zach Kuntz out of Old Dominion, very, very talented player, is still on the board. Linebacker is something that they could still address. I still think they need more of a coverage linebacker. You got a couple of those players still available, like Ivan Pace Jr. out of Cincinnati. That's a name to be watching out for tomorrow, in my opinion. And then an edge rusher, another edge rusher would be nice for the Commanders to have. It seems like they're going to keep Montez Sweat and Chase Young for the time being, but I think at least one of those guys will be not on the Commanders come 2024. So you want to have that insurance. You want to get a nice young player here probably on day 3. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. You've added Daron Payne here in free agency. Of course, you've re-upped him. You've given him that massive contract. You've brought in Jacoby Brissett to kind of compete with Sam Howell, try to have a real nice competition there at the quarterback spot. Andrew Wiley at right tackle solidifies that right tackle spot. Nick Gates gives you some nice versatility along the offensive line as well. The Commanders are building. They got 1 day left to really fill this team up with as much talent as possible. And then, of course, you got the undrafted free agency period. So it'll be very interesting to see what Washington does here going into day 3. So let me know in the comments section, who do you want the Commanders to draft next going into day 3 of the 2023 NFL draft? If there's a player you have in mind, kind of a sleeper pick that made it here to day 3, let me know in the comments section. Can't wait to see some of the names that you put down there in the comments. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end of today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel here and turn on your notifications. Once again, we're going to be putting out more videos on the Commanders here over the next couple of days. Some videos you are not going to want to miss. A lot of additions are going to be made to this roster over the next 48 hours. So make sure you click that subscribe button and click that bell to turn on your notifications.